A judge in Ohio ruled that a 62-year-old by the name of Edmond Aviv had to hold a sign indicating that he was a bully for 5 hours on a Sunday. The reason why he had to do that was because he was found guilty, or actually he pleaded no contest to bullying a neighbor and her disabled children. Now, just to give you a sense of exactly what he did, according to a letter that the court received, he had called the victim an ethnic slur while she was holding her adopted black children. He spat on her several times. He also regularly threw dog feces at her son's car windshield and once smeared feces on a wheelchair ramp. So
no, this might be the worst guy in America. And meanwhile, Sandra Prue might be the best person in America. Mm-hmm. She has 2 adult adopted children with developmental disabilities, cerebral palsy and epilepsy. Her husband has dementia and her son is paralyzed. She's taking care of all of them. And this jackass neighbor is like, oh, you're bothering me while you're taking care of all those disabled people that are in your family. Smearing feces on a wheelchair ramp.
Who does that?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's like the Joffrey of South Euclid. I mean, this guy's insane. Spitting on her? By the way, that's assault. I'd have charged him with a lot more than that.
Absolutely. You know. Now, he did get sentenced to 15 days in jail, and he does have to take anger management classes. But the part of his sentence that angered him the most was the part where he had to hold the sign in public indicating that he's a bully. Now, the sign said, I am a bully. I pick on children that are disabled, and I'm intolerant of those that are different from myself. My actions do not reflect an appreciation for the diverse South Euclid community that I live in. Now, he did this for 5 hours. People honked. Some people yelled profanity at him, which I can totally understand. I mean, I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying people were probably very upset with what he did. And he feels that his life was destroyed. In fact, he talked to the press and he said, the judge destroyed me. This isn't fair at all.
Okay, listen, this guy, among the unbelievable number of stories of what he's done, also didn't like the smell coming out of her dry cleaner. Like, first of all, what does she have to do with that? Who knows what smells? Anyway, decides to, what did he do with
So, in retaliation, Aviv hooked up kerosene to a fan, which blew the smell onto her property.
He's blowing kerosene onto her property. God knows what kind of damage that could have done. And that might actually literally have destroyed their lives. But he has to hold a sign, and it destroyed his life. Isn't it amazing how unaware people are of themselves? Mm-hmm. Like, that they can do the most atrocious things, and this big bully, like, oh yeah, throwing dog feces at the windshield and all this stuff. When he has to do a tiny bit back, he's like, oh, how could you? It's such an injustice. Man, the lack of empathy some people have is really scary.
Yeah, and I also wonder what it is about this 62-year-old that makes him think it's acceptable to go around harming others that have done absolutely nothing wrong to you. Like, why are you so bitter and angry at life? Like, you would assume that by the time someone is in their 60s, they're mature enough to live and let live. But this guy is, like, obsessed with harassing these poor people, and he's been doing it for years. First of all, this didn't destroy his life, but he should know what it's like to actually have your life destroyed, right? Where you have a neighbor who's constantly harassing you and making your life miserable when you're trying to be a good person and take care of those who are disabled.
This guy would have spit in Mother Teresa's face.
He's like, a terrible guy.
Oh, you're taking care of the needy and the sick, are you? Yeah, there you go. Hey, you bothered me for a second. Jesus, man. So I think he's lucky that the judge only gave him this. Mm-hmm. And I like that he's all hurt over it.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't like a taste of his own medicine. He doesn't like to be bullied, right?
Right. And the judge gave him back a tiny piece of his own medicine.